Man is being hailed a hero after jumping off a cruise ship and into the Atlantic Ocean to save a young girl who fell overboard from the fourth deck of Disney's Dream cruise ship yesterday. In video from passengers, you can actually see here the crew members launching a rescue boat. They were unable to pull the two to safety. They were finally, able to pull those two to safety within minutes. NBC News correspondent George Solis is in Port Everglades, Florida, where that ship is docked as we speak. George, this looks pretty miraculous. I mean, the ship supposedly has these safety barriers in place to avoid precisely incidents like this. So how did it happen?
Yeah, Morgan, no question that this is a miraculous rescue. And you're right, the cruise ship here is docked here in Fort Lauderdale right now. This happened somewhere along the fourth floor deck, which is right below, if you can see it behind me, those yellow boats. Now, we're not sure which side of the ship it actually occurred on. And yes, to some degree, you're right. These are railings that are specifically designed so you won't be able to go over. So how this child was able to get over the railing, overboard into the water is still something that is going to have to be investigated and surely being looked at by Disney officials. Now, to that end, we're still also working to learn about the relationship of this individual who jumped into the water to rescue this child. The videos, of course, from the passengers are amazing as you see them watching and seeing this all play out in real time as this small yellow boat is racing out to them to get them from the waters there. Now, passengers that we spoke with say they think this all took place with about maybe 10 to 15 minutes of them being in the water. But those rescue boats, that rescue boat in specific, was out there within minutes. And that's according to Disney. Again, just a simple, miraculous rescue that this happened as this boat was moving from the Bahamas back here to Fort Lauderdale. After this rescue, that boat obviously continued and is now docked here.
Hey, yo, what up, y'all? I'd like to thank you all for tuning in, man. It's your boy, Mr. 1751. For those of you who have already smashed and subscribed, I'd like to take my hat off to y'all, man. You know what I mean? Y'all support is gladly appreciated, man. It's greatly appreciated, man. It means so much to the channel. And for those of you who have yet to smash that subscribe, go on over and smash and subscribe, man. Don't forget to hit the bell notification while you're at it, man, so that you can be among the first to get these videos as I upload. Now, anyway, today we're going to be talking about an unfortunate event that just taken place about a week ago, where you have a father and a daughter, which I'm assuming, you know, they were with other family members as well. But in this particular event, you have a father and a daughter who are the main characters of this, you know, just this disastrous situation, man. Now, this was a cruise ship incident, you know, and a lot of people know how, you know, how people let their kids roam free on those cruise ships, right? But there are so many things that can go wrong, man, when you're not supervising your children, man, in these type of situations, you know, where when you're around a vast body of water, you know, oceans, rivers, you know, anywhere where it's a deep body of water, right? You have to go into over supervision of your children, man, and just the kids in general. If they're kids that's around that is not your children, man, and you see that their parents is not paying attention, sometimes you might have to pull the parent coat, you know, and say something to the child. You know, don't get too close to that ledge. You know, I know I've done it, you know, quite a few times throughout my life, man. You know, but this situation here, man, is not like you know, any situation that is common. You don't hear about these type of situations often, right? But I'm quite sure this is not the first time something like this happened. But it was very you know, traumatic, a very traumatic event, right? Now, whatever happened, people are saying that I heard a few people say that the father was taking pictures with the little girl, and somehow I'm not sure whether she fell over over the cliff, over the edge of the, of the ship when he wasn't paying attention. I'm not sure, but it was said that this guy was with his daughter when all of this occurred, right? Now they were on the fourth tier of this cruise ship, this Disney cruise ship, the fourth tier, in which it was said that on that ship they have plexiglass like a railing type, type of ledges. They said they're about 4 feet tall and it's plexiglass. However, there are splits every now, every so much space. There's a split, that's kind of wide enough that a child that has an object, can actually slip something through the through the split in the plexiglass, right? But for a child to fall over a 4 foot high plexiglass railing, that is quite interesting to me, man. I don't know how something like that happens, man. Now they're saying that the brother, he immediately sprung into action, jumped over, he immediately jumped over and went into rescue mode, of course, like any father should. Now I understand that there are many fathers out there. Of course, everybody will say hypothetically that if my child fall in the water, I'm jumping in, right? Although anybody can say that, when it's time to actually spring into action, and you're out there, you can't swim too good, you're not a good swimmer, but your child is in dire need, of your rescuer, right? Now, I know, like I said, there'll be many men out there who will say, I'm jumping in behind my child, because if you don't jump in, you're a coward, and you all the bad things that people can come up with, right? For not rescuing your child and not being a real father and a real man, right? But then you will have, that can also be a controversial argument, could be very, it could be many nuances to that conversation, right? Many different perspectives, because some people may say, although your child fell over into that water, if you jump into that water and you know that you can't swim, it is probably 99.9% that you and your child, will lose, will have a loss of life, will likely drown in that large body of water, right? Now, there are many people who understand that they can't swim, and for those of you who know that, you need to be very, very extra careful around these type of these type of spaces, man. Because that if your child should happen to fall into that water, you are going to be expected, whether you can swim or you can't swim, you are going to be the number one expected hero, right? And when you don't deliver in the moment, you can really look like a horrible person. That is a hell of a decision to have to make, man. Now I understand, like I said, many guys, when you're sitting around and you're viewing stories like this, like anything else, people always say, shit, if it was me, I'm jumping in. People just tend to do that with all kind of situations, man. When people are in those type of situations, where they had to deliver, then you actually see how much of a hero you always thought you was. Right? In a moment when you have to make a decision whether to jump in the ocean, knowing damn well you can't swim, but your child is in that water. Right? Now, I understand some men will just, they won't reason with themselves. Some men will just jump because their child is in the water. And if they have to, lose their life, then that's just what it's going to have to be. Right? But not every man is jumping in that water. And I want you ladies out there to understand as well. If you have a child with a man who can't swim, you need to make sure, both of y'all, parents need to make sure that when you're around these large bodies of waters or anything, any area that can, cause great danger to the livelihood of your child and your family, y'all need to go into, over supervision. Y'all need to really be, observant, and attentive. Make sure that you close the gap, so that these type of things, these type of accidents won't happen, right? Now, in this situation, like I said, the little girl fell from the fourth tier of a Disney cruise ship, right? They said that it was daytime. Thank God for that. Thank God that it was daytime, because this situation could have been a whole lot worse had it been the evening or nighttime. When it gets dark out there, man, in that water, man, it's a very big chance that someone fall in that water, man. They're just a goner. You might not be able to see them, man. When it's dark and you in the middle of the ocean, the water looks black. The water looks black. Especially when you up a little higher on a ship, right? Now they said that a rescue team sprung into action as well. I'm guessing that the rescue team was already on the boat. Now, thank God for those lifeguards and that safety team that also jumped into that water to rescue the father and the little girl, right? Because it was said they was in that water for about 20 minutes. And for those of you who know, in 20 minutes, man, in the middle of the water, man, trying to not go under, man, it's tiring, right? So thank God for that crew, that rescue team, man. Things could have been a whole lot worse, and we just gotta be more careful, man, when we out in these type of places, man, because these things can very much occur, in a split second, just like that. You know what I mean? And you look up and you're in the worst situation of your life. You know what I mean? Just like that. So you just gotta be careful, man. But it's been a lot of controversy, a lot of people, different views and opinions. And I was in the comment section just a few days ago, right? On Instagram. This is the first time I come across this story, right? And I ran to the comments just like everybody else. I ran straight to the comments, and one of the first comments that I seen was a bitter woman. It was a bitter woman, and when I say a bitter woman, I mean a particular type of woman. Not all women, because not all women are bitter, but this particular type of woman they can't bring themselves to give a man any honor, to have any kind of respect for a man. And it showed in that comment section, man. You had multiple women hitching on to this woman's comment, which I'm guessing was probably feminist, with a bunch of other lost women who got no sense of direction or understanding, and they left a reply in this woman's comments, right? And they agreed with everything that she said. Now this woman said, which was baffling to me, everyone's in this section calling this man a hero. He's not a hero. He should be in jail. The father. This woman said this man should be in jail for not supervising his child, for letting his child fall over the cliff. He's not a hero. He's a dirtbag, and he's a she called him a deadbeat for not being not having supervision over his child in the moment, as if she know everything, as if she was there, as if she can 100% attest that this father neglected his child. Right now, the reason why everyone is calling this father a hero, because whether he made a mistake or not, a mistake that could have very much been a deadly mistake, this father, he sprung into action to fix that mistake. Now, I want you to ask yourself, how many fathers do you know? Or actually, I'm not talking about hypothetically, actually, how many fathers do you know that will actually jump into the ocean to save their child? I just want you to ask yourself that. Because if you ask me, I'm going to say, there's not a whole lot, right? And I know it all, it all sounds, every man wants to think of himself as, I'll do whatever for my child. I'll do whatever for my kids. Even if I can't swim, I'm jumping in. It's easy to say that, right? But in the heat of the moment, if you know you can't swim, you almost have to make up your mind. Do I want to commit suicide? Because if I jump in this water, I'm going to die as well, right? And what is the price? What a price to pay? You jump in the water, you know 100% you're not going to be able to rescue your child. But sometimes the logical thing is, man, although we all want to think of ourselves as heroes, if you can't swim, close the gap. Make it so that it is a 100% not a chance that this is, this will occur, where you would have to be put in a situation to have to jump in the water. Because for many of us, man, if you can't swim, man, it's almost equivalent to putting a gun under your chin and just taking yourself out. When the smart thing would be to just do everything but jump into that water. Try to, look for a lifeguard. Look for a life jacket. Who got the life jacket? Go crazy on that shit. Where's the life jacket? Where's the lifeguards? Where's the safety team? But if you know that you can't swim, don't jump in that water, man. And I know it sounds horrible when I say it like that, but make sure that you don't put yourself in a position to have to do that. Anyway, man, this was a rather interesting story, man. Thank God, man, that both of these, this man and his child was rescued within 20 minutes, and they're going to have to go on to live the rest of their lives with the trauma from this event. This will likely always be you know, a thing, you know, that they would have to live with. And this is trauma. This is trauma, knowing that you could have lost your child. You know, just thinking of all the things, you know, what if I couldn't swim? You know, just you know, what if a shark would have, you know, it's all kind of different things to think about, you know. But yeah, just think, you know, thank God, man. Thank God, man, that everything turned out well, and they was brung, you know, to safety, and they're still able to go on and live out this beautiful life, you know, going about their journey, man, and try to work their way through life together, man. just having a traumatic event like that to experience together, right? But anyway, man, until next time, it's your boy Mr. 1751 bringing you another 1751 review. And until next video, hey, if you enjoy watching videos like these, make sure that you like, comment, subscribe. Help your boy get into the algorithm so that I can continue to bring you more videos just like the one you just watched. Anyway, until next time, y'all stay up.
A sigh of relief from a father moments after he and his daughter are rescued after going overboard the Disney Dream cruise ship Sunday.
It seemed like it was going to be something that was just devastating, tragic.
Passenger Monica Shannon told me she and her family were taking pictures when she watched as the little girl fell from the 4th floor.
They were playing shuffleboard, which is actually right, so it was on the 4th floor. And I think like maybe the parents were playing, and then the little girl was climbing up on the railing and went and flew off.
In this piece of video, you can see the race to rescue as crews rushed to pull the two from the water and into a rescue boat. We learned the cruise was returning to Port Everglades in Fort Lauderdale following a 4-night cruise to the Bahamas when other passengers reported the child was first to fall in. That's when they say the father realized what happened, then jumped in after her.
She didn't know how to swim. And the dad couldn't find her at first.
While that ship is now docked and passengers have disembarked, it's investigators now trying to determine just how that child fell overboard. We reached out to Disney Cruise Lines, who issued this statement that read in part, "The crew aboard the Disney Dream swiftly rescued 2 guests from the water. We commend our crew members for their exceptional skills and prompt actions, which ensured the safe return of both guests to the ship within minutes." Following the frightening incident, it is this message Shannon had for other parents, especially when aboard a Disney cruise ship with their children.
You still are in the middle of the ocean, and there are still dangers, so just be so careful. Keep them close.